This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Thank God it's Friday and you are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show right here on Ghana Talks Radio. Good morning to you lovely listeners of Ghana Talks Radio. This is the news review. Right here we bring you all the relevant stories making waves in the news. I am your host Ruth Esinam Fiagbedu and I'll be doing this with Miss Regina Bless and Miss Debbie Adoso. Good morning to you ladies and you are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
How you doing Miss Debbie?
Grace is sufficient.
Hope you slept well.
Yeah, I did.
Miss Gina, what about you?
I'm fine. You?
We thank God. I'm doing well as well. I saw it drizzling this morning. I was just praying that it should rain because the heat in Accra is too much. But unfortunately, God knows what He's doing, so it didn't rain. Finally, the weekend is here. The weekend we've all been waiting for. The weekend is here, and I believe some of us are already getting ready to go somewhere to go spend the weekend, but however it is, make sure you take good care of yourself. Right, in that case, let's delve into our news items for this morning. Ghana must maintain stability to attract investors. EU ambassador. The European Union ambassador to Ghana, Rune Skimback, says Ghana must continue to maintain political and economic stability if it wants to attract more foreign investors. Speaking at a program at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, the ambassador said Ghana remains one of the most attractive investment destinations in the region, but this can only continue if stability is protected. He says investors are more likely to bring money into countries that are peaceful, economically stable, and business friendly. The ambassador warned that instability in neighboring Sahel countries could also affect Ghana's security and economy if care is not taken. He stressed that Ghana should continue to strengthen political stability, economic reforms, infrastructure, legal systems, and business-friendly policies. According to him, the European Union remains Ghana's largest investor, biggest export market, and major development partner. Ambassador Skimback also encouraged Ghana to take advantage of the EU's global Gateway Investments Package for Africa, which includes about 150 billion euros for development, financing, and investment support across the continent. The initiative combines development financing, support from international financial institutions, and private sector investment. He added that Ghana's democratic freedoms should encourage citizens to demand accountability from leaders and institutions. The ambassador explained that if Ghana maintains strong governance and a stable economy, more European investors will continue to invest in the country. However, if neighboring countries offer a better business environment, investors could choose those countries instead. Right here, the message is clear that maintaining peace, economic stability, and good governance is critical for attracting investment and supporting long-term development in Ghana. Ms. Debbie, what are some of the things we can do, the measures or the strategies we can put in place to make sure that we make our economy stable in order to attract investors?
I think the best measures we can put in place is to consider how well we spend our money. I'm putting it this way because whatever taxes we put out there for the people to pay or for citizens to pay, the returns come back to us. So if we are very cautious about how well the country spends and then we don't run at debt, is to attract investors to come into the country, because no investor would like to invest in a country where at the end of the day they'll run at loss. So they'll first look at the whole country. Is this a country that usually run at loss? How is their spending nature like? Do they spend more than they gain, or it is in between, or is balanced 50-50? They look at all this before they take initiative of investing into the country. And then I think one more thing they also pay attention to is how peaceful the country is. No investor would like to invest in a country where there is always chaos. So if you look at other countries, I don't want to mention them, other African countries, it's very difficult to see investors trooping in there, because day in, day out, it is today you hear that there is a fight between these people in that same country, and it becomes so difficult for investors to find that particular country attractive. So if you look at countries that are in competition, it is Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, and then I think one other African countries. There are 4. So it should tell you that we are among these 4 African countries that are attractive. So we are competing within ourselves. That is why even if you look at the cocoa price and all that, it has to do with Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana. So it got to a time where Cote d'Ivoire was even illegally smuggling in their cocoa to Ghana to sell, because they realized that our price here is than their country. So all these things are petty things, not really petty. I would say it's petty, but it's not petty to them. So they also look at lower cost of capital. So country risk is priced into interest rate and equity valuation. When Ghana is stable, sovereign bonds trade at lower yields, the cedi is less volatile, and bank lend cheaper. It attracts investors into the country. So if we are in a country where you come for loan, or maybe you want to how will I even say it? Should I use this word? Negotiate. We say maybe a sector. For instance, let's take the banking sector for an example. And then the lending rate is too high. I mean, they wouldn't like to come, because most of these investors come in and they would like to invest first, but they'll also take a good look at the financial capability of the country. How is their lending? Like, how do they lend to people? Is it that common when they lend? Is the interest rate cheaper than what is being given out to them, or they lend out the money and then at the end of the day the interest you're paying on that loan is more than what they lend to you? They pay attention to that. Then predictable return. Investment only makes sense if investors can reasonably forecast costs, regulations, tax regime and currency movements over 5 to 20 years. Now, some time ago, during last year, most of the foreign business we have in Ghana, you have to relocate into other countries because the taxes were too much. So if I'm a foreigner and then I come to establish a business in your country, mind you, according to the laws of Ghana, if you are a foreigner and you're establishing business here, you need to employ more people from the country you are establishing the business in, more than your people. So if you look at these Chinese companies, you see a lot of Ghanaians working in these companies. That is what the law states. So imagine I establish a business in your country, I employ your people, and then the taxes I'm paying is even way more than the income I make from that business. Then what is the essence? So all these things are things they pay much attention to before investors can come in. So they also pay attention to long-term sectors and the need for long-term confidence. Then reputation in capital market as well, supply chain and market continuity. They also look at the protection of assets and operations. If I'm investing here or investing into the business, I have to put my eye on the ground and then rest assured that the company I'm investing in is located in a country that is safe. From the beginning of my submission, I said no investor would like to invest in a country where there is chaos or there is conflict. So which means when I'm investing into that country, definitely there will be a business which I'll invest in. What if there is chaos and today properties are being destroyed? Then I'll have to maybe pay more than what I'm supposed to and all that. So they pay attention to all these things before they move ahead to invest in
into your country. Ms. Gina, what can we do as a country to remain attractive to these investors?
So, Ms. Debbie has said a lot, but the little I can add to looking at our political stability, I would say when it comes to Ghana, our political stability is not really that good, especially when it comes to elections. We have peaceful elections, but the peaceful elections we have right here in Ghana always has to, at the end of the day, you're kind of saying it's resort to violence, yes, and also respect for democracy and the rule of law. Our democracy here, I would not say is being threatened, but people are taking our democracy for granted, especially in the sense of some of these communicators where they go beyond board to say unreasonable and derogatory comments, even about top people in Ghana. And President John Dramani Mahama is not spared. And also looking at the past administration, also our ex-president was also attacked. So I think respect for democracy is one, peaceful elections without violence, and also a stable government, yes, and also looking at our security and citizens trusting state institutions. So that is for the political aspect. And when we look at the economic aspect of stability, we are looking at stable inflation and prices, a stronger CD, and also manageable debt levels, and also tax, most importantly, as Debbie said. A lot of companies, foreign companies, left Ghana because of taxes, and that has to do with high tax demands. So I think they need to make the tax collection more attractive. They need to decrease it so that the investors that come into Ghana would find our business environment very friendly and conducive. So I think these are the major things they can do to make sure that investors find our country more attractive.
Attractive, right. Vanderpoel demands stricter background checks for parliamentary candidates. The national coordinator of the District Road Improvement Program, Lante Vanderpoel, is calling for stricter background checks on people seeking public office in Ghana. His comments follow reports about the arrest of Ohene Kwame Frimpong in the Netherlands over alleged romance scams and money laundering investigation. Mr. Vanderpoel said Parliament and other state institutions must be protected from incidents that could damage Ghana's image internationally. He believes authorities should properly investigate and assess political candidates before they are allowed to contest elections or hold public office. According to him, candidates with questionable backgrounds should be thoroughly investigated. Stronger vetting systems are needed, and due diligence should happen before elections. He argued that members of parliament represent constituencies and help make laws, so their integrity is very important. Mr. Vanderpoel warned that failing to properly screen political aspirants could lead to repeated embarrassment for Ghana on the international stage. The issue comes after the reports that the MP was arrested shortly after arriving on a KLM flight from Accra. The MP is alleged to be linked to romance fraud, money laundering activities. However, authorities in the Netherlands are still investigating the matter, and no official conclusion has yet been announced. Meanwhile, Parliament of Ghana says it is engaging Ghana's diplomatic mission in the Hague to gather more details about the arrest and the ongoing investigations. The discussion has sparked broader debate about integrity in public office, candidates vetting, and Ghana's international reputation, as well as accountability in politics. So they are urging that, Oko Vanderpoel is urging that they should do a proper check before they allow these people to sit in for such positions. Ms. Eugenia, your thought on this, please.
So, Mr. Ohene Frimpong, I don't know how true this is, but yesterday I saw a circulating video of him.
I saw that as well.
Yeah, so I don't really know if it's true or not. But since the Parliament of Ghana also made a statement, so I think, in fact, in every rumor there's an iota of truth. So at the end of the day, we would know what the truth is.
The rumor is that particular video trending is actually
An old video.
an old video.
Because
He keeps saying UK. Meanwhile, report says Netherlands.
Because the reason why I also think it's an old video, some time back, people were bashing because of this video where they said a member of parliament
Yes,
shouldn't.
with a bare chest.
Yes. So I think it's an old video.
Okay, so looking at what Van der Poy is saying, that background checks for parliamentary candidates, I think is a very important thing. Just like when you want to be in the military, at the end of the day, they do some background check to make sure that you have no criminal records and everything is sane. So I think it's important for people who hold public office. And before then, I think President John Dramani Mahama brought the code of conduct, where as a minister or a public official holding position, you need to follow that conduct. Now, my issue is, with all these background checks you want to do on someone, you can do a background check on me and not know the things I do, because I wouldn't make it public. I do it in secret. The people around me do not know about it. And when we talk of background check, you are involving the people around that person. So how would the background check go on? I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. So with the background check, they can still do it and still get either negative or positive results. But aside that, I think it's very good for them to make sure that they investigate each and every one before he or she holds public office. Because if I don't want to use anyone as an example, but if someone deals in cocaine, someone deals in smuggling drugs, someone deals in smuggling narcotics, ammunition and all that, and it is the past of that person, and you didn't know anything about it, and that person is still in power or has a public position, people will be like, hey, Nipa will come in your position. In a way, it is sending a wrong signal that, excuse me to say, we just allow criminals and hooligans into our public institutions to hold office and all that. So for the background investigation is very important, but how sure are they that they would get their right facts?
How sure are they? Miss Debbie?
Yeah, so for the background investigation, for me, it's very, very important because it is to preserve legislative integrity. Now, we know that parliamentarians are people with high dignity. They are respectable in society. We believe parliamentarians do not involve themselves in certain acts. So if, in a way, a parliamentarian is being convicted or being seen as a criminal, or at the end of the day, a parliamentarian is being seen as someone who causes chaos in a society, in a way, it's degrading the integrity of that particular office, and it makes the office, for me, not look serious enough, because for you to get there is not easy. So all these are checks that needs to be done before you get there, and if these checks are not done, it erodes public trust. You are not even trusted as a member of parliament, because if, as a parliamentarian, you are being voted for, and then we get to know that this is what you do, this is what you are into, I mean, there is no more trust. If you come out and you're speaking to us, we see you to be some bunch of criminals that are just trying to win the heart of the people, but you are not there just because of what the reason why you are there. We don't see what you are doing, but then you are just doing that just to win our heart and our attention. So it's very, very necessary. Then another thing has to do with to protect our public funds and resources. If the research is not being done, what if we vote for somebody who is a thief? What if we vote for someone who is a criminal? And then you end up that is why we see people diverting money. And yes, you imagine these checks are being done properly, done well. There is no way you can get it, because see, if a CID wants to take issue, they will pinpoint issues. You will be surprised what they will get to know about you. They will definitely do it. Now, Regina was saying something about military. Of late, they don't do it again. Before you get into the military, before you get into the police, there is a background research they do about you without your knowledge. You just be there and then they'll call you. We are sorry. You should try some other time. Or the job, we can't hand this job to you. Or then you'll be there and then they'll give you info. Because I remember when I was in JHS, there was this guy that went into, I think he went into the military. So they asked him that he should bring out people, like you bring out 4 people that you know, people that are so closer to you. And then he gave out my dad's number. My dad was there. Now they brought their vehicle. They came to the house and then they were interviewing my dad based on who he is. So imagine you, because he didn't even tell my dad to that this is what he did. He gave his number out for some people. It was just, and then they called him that you've gained the job. And then it was later they told him. And then my dad has to also call him and tell him that this is what happened. So if the more reason why we are calling for this research is to prevent this kind of things. Frimpong might be, Honorable Frimpong might not be involved in this, but the info has already been circulated. How will you
vindicate yourself
and then clear that out? Your reputation has already been dented.
Including Ghana's parliament.
The whole parliament. Yeah. So it means that in a way, people have started having the notion that maybe there are people within them that are into that. Just that their cups are not full yet. So it's very, very necessary to maintain that integrity of Parliament and to also boost the trust we have in Parliament.
So the checks there, it has to come up. And sometimes too, when they go for vetting and they ask some questions, we actually find it unnecessary. But I think after all these things, some questions are actually necessary.
Oh, very.
Right, so let's move on to our final news item. Strong city hurting local production and job creation. Okopoi. Former Health Minister and NPP Greater Accra Regional Chairman hopeful Bernard Okopoi says the strengthening of the Ghana cedi is negatively affecting local businesses and job creation. He argued that while a stable currency is good for the economy, an overly strong cedi can make locally produced goods less competitive. Dr. Okopoi says imports are becoming cheaper. Local manufacturing is becoming less profitable. Businesses may prefer importing goods instead of producing them in Ghana. According to him, this situation could weaken Ghana's industrial sector and reduce job opportunities for local workers. He warned that if imported goods become cheaper than locally made products, Ghana may end up depending more on foreign goods, creating jobs in other countries instead of Ghana, and hurting local factories and producers. Dr. Okopoi stressed that government must strike a balance between maintaining a strong currency and supporting industries that create businesses. He also claimed that large amounts of dollars have been injected into the economy to help stabilize the cedi, but says the policy may be hurting manufacturers who rely on export earning. His comments add to ongoing debate about Ghana's economic policies and the relationship between currency stability, inflation control, industrial growth, and employment creation. Supporters of a strong cedi argue that it helps reduce inflation, lower import costs, and stabilize the economy. However, critics like Dr. Okopoi believe that if not managed carefully, it can discourage local production and make imports more attractive than domestic manufacturing. Ms. Gina, do you agree with him?
Yeah. So, this has to do with economics, so you have to do a lot of research. So from what I have here, when the cedi is stronger, it means goods imported into the country would become less because you need a few cedis to buy the dollars. So I think during the administration of Akufo-Addo, the dollar was a dollar to a cedi was like 17 cedis, almost getting to 20 cedis. So for that aspect, the cedi was very should I say loose. So you need a lot of cedis to buy the dollar. So when the goods come into the country, it would be very, very expensive. But looking at the time the cedi now, the dollar is like I don't know if I'm really sure, but it's been long I checked it, either 11 cedis or 12 cedis or something. So I think with what he's saying, it's a good thing, because if the cedi becomes strong, you need fewer cedis to buy dollars, as I mentioned, and also imported goods becomes cheaper in Ghana, and how it would affect these local producers. If I know that something is cheap in other countries, I'll just buy it into the country and sell it at a very conducive and reasonable price, and it would affect the local producers here, because the local producers here are facing a lot. The high transportation, your friend is saying utility bills and all that, and also the raw materials are very expensive. So they would have to do all these, and at the end of the day, if they are not being purchased, they are also running at a loss. In as much as we know that business is all about profit and loss, but not an extreme loss, and that is what these local producers would face. So a point where I believe that sometimes they can lay off some people, because they'll be like, oh, at the end of the day, the demand is not really high, so we can't produce more. So we will have to let go of some people to be able to save ourselves also, else the company would go down. So I think they need to stabilize the cedi. They shouldn't make it too strong to a point where the local producers also would suffer.
Yes, so when a city is strong, it helps traders who import into this country, and then it hurts manufacturers, because as a manufacturer, if we have local producers in Ghana here who deals in dollars, so if I am buying something from you and then I'm supposed to I'm importing it, it means when the cedi is being changed into a dollar, I gain. But when that dollar is being changed into the cedi, it becomes something very less. That is why during the MPP administration, we had the likes of Kwame Eugene saying that he has huge money in his bank and he doesn't want to touch it. But immediately the cedi was competing so much with the dollar, we had a lot of traders who are into exports complaining that now they can't withdraw it again, because when you withdraw it, it becomes something very small. Someone might tell you that, oh, I've sent you maybe $1,000. You're going to change the money, and then in cedis it's something you can't even use for anything at all. But then when you get there and then your cedi is being changed into the dollar, it's like you make more gain than when the dollar is being changed into the cedis. So when it happens like that, we will pay more attention to import. That has to do, we will be importing, because Ebanisa importing a barefoot. If I'm going to import, maybe first I used to import a bag of shoes or a bag of clothing at a fixed price, and then I've realized that because the cedi is now performing so well against the dollar, when I get there and I'm importing, it has reduced. Then instead of buying one sack of the dresses, I'll end up buying like 5 sacks. So it will make this trader fix their attention more on import, because they are not making a loss. You only make a loss when you get to the port, where you are supposed to pay some dues and all that. So for the cedi there, even if you listen to financiers talk, they will tell you that when the cedi becomes so strong, there is a challenge. There is a negative impact. When it becomes so weak, there is also a negative impact. So the best thing is it should be balanced.
It should be balanced. Right, before we go, there's a comment on Facebook, and this is from Emmanuel Chambers. He says, taxes in John Mahama's second term, it's like a living matter. And he said, electricity tariffs alone, bam bam, meanwhile, darkness everywhere. So this is a comment from Emmanuel Chambers. Thank you so much for your comment, and thank you too for joining us on the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Up next, we have Today in History with Miss Regina Bless.
Bringing you today some global observances. On this day, we have International Day of Families to recognize the importance of families as the fundamental unit of society and to promote awareness of the social, economic, and demographic issues affecting them. This was established by the United Nations in 1993. It encourages support for family well-being, equality, and development. Bring flowers to someone day to encourage spreading joy, appreciation, and kindness by giving flowers to friends, family, co-workers, or strangers. It is a simple gesture aimed at brightening someone's day, often using the hashtag Bring Flowers to Someone Day on social media. National Tuberous Sclerosis Day to raise awareness for tuberous sclerosis complex, a rare genetic disorder causing non-cancerous tumors in vital organs. The day aims to fight social stigma, support families, and promote research for cures. Next, we have National Senior Fraud Awareness Day to highlight the rising number of financial scams targeting older adults, with seniors losing billions annually. This day focuses on education, prevention, and protecting assets from scams like investment fraud, grandparent scams, and phishing. We also have National Safety Dose Day to raise awareness about the safe use of medications, especially prescription painkillers such as opioids, and to help prevent drug misuse, addiction, overdose, and accidental death. The day encourages people to follow prescription instructions carefully, avoid sharing medicines with others, learn about side effects and drug interactions, store and dispose of medication safely, and lastly, talk to doctors or pharmacists before changing dosages. To our last global observance, we have Vascular Birthmarks Foundation Day to raise awareness about vascular birthmarks, vascular anomalies, and related syndromes. It was created to educate people about vascular birthmarks such as hemangiomas and port wine stains, reduce stigma, bullying, and misconceptions surrounding visible birthmarks, promote acceptance and emotional support for affected individuals and families, encourage early diagnosis and proper medical treatment, and raise funds for treatment, education, and research programs. And that's all for today on Some Global Observances, live on GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much, Ms. Regina Bless, for today in history and some global observances of the day. Up next, we have Debbie's Girl.
Welcome to Debbie's Girl, where we talk about issues that matter to the state, void of politics, fear, or favor. An Accra High Court has awarded $150,000 in damages against the Ghana Police Service for violating the fundamental rights of journalist Bridget Otu and two other individuals during the hashtag Occupy Jolobi House protest. The court also ordered the police service to pay an additional $30,000 to cover legal costs incurred by three applicants in pursuing the case. Delivering judgment on Thursday, May 14th, Justice Brew ruled that officers of the Ghana Police Service acted unlawfully and breached the constitutional rights of the victims despite being mandated to protect citizens. According to the court finding, The conduct of the police during the protest was described as unconstitutional, with the judge citing incidents of physical assault, unlawful detention, and interference with personal freedoms. The ruling highlighted separate acts of abuse suffered by 3 individuals during the protest. Bridget Otu was reportedly assaulted by police officers, with her blouse allegedly ripped apart during the incident. Another victim, Vanessa Boateng, was found to have been unlawfully detained whilst officers seized her mobile phones in an attempt to prevent her from recording alleged police brutality. The third applicant, George Anyang, was reportedly subjected to severe assault while live streaming events at the regional police station. The court heard that he was slapped, punched, and beaten with a metallic belt and baton by officers. In addition to the financial compensation, the High Court ordered the Ghana Police Service to publish unqualified apology in the state-owned newspaper Daily Graphic. The hashtag Occupy Jolobi protest, which drew widespread public attention, became a major symbol of youth activism and civic resistance in Ghana, with demonstrators demanding better governance, economic accountability, and social justice. So this happened in 2023, where a group of concerned citizens protested against the government because things were difficult, our economy was very bad, there was no accountability, there was no formal communication between the government and the citizen pertaining what is going on. And so they went for the demonstration, and as usual, journalists will always be there to cover up whatsoever is going on. And the truth is, we have a right to video whatsoever it is. That is our work. But the people were being mandated to protect these journalists ended up beating them. And this happened during the previous administration, because 2023, the then president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, was in power. He was the president with his vice president, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And you see, now these same people are complaining that, in fact, they are even crying on our behalf. The journalists are not being given the freedom to speak. They are not giving them the opportunity to talk. Our freedom has been infringed on. Our rights are being stumbled upon. But let's be sincere to ourselves. If we are talking of a party that comes into power or a government we experience, and then you are free to voice out your displeasure concerning the works of the government, it has to do with the NDC. This is not politics. During the MPP administration, journalists were being beaten. They were beating them. We saw a lot of police brutalities. Why should you beat a female journalist, excuse me, to the extent of tearing her dress apart? Like, does it really make sense? No, it doesn't. And this happened since 2023. I think they had the same idea. And then the police have been charged to pay a sum of 150,000. Now, this is what I want to say. We have the right to cover whatsoever is going on. Without journalists, the government ceases to exist. Without the government and its activities ongoing, we also cease to exist. We work hand in hand. That is why every program that is going on, they call the media house. Why? Because they've realized that it is the media that is going to sell whatever they want to put out there. It is the media who is responsible for publishing it. And so if we, the media, are killing ourselves to publish the works of the administration, and then what we get in return is be beaten or to be dragged and all that, is bad. It is very, very, very bad. This is common in some African countries, but not in Ghana. We are not known for that. We are not known for that. And then one of the things you get to hear from them is order from above. So who is giving them that order? That is what I do not understand. you are assaulting someone and then you are telling the person it's an order from above, and so your hands are tied. We even saw instances where journalists were beaten, their cameras were being smashed on the ground, and no one was speaking about it. And the most funny aspect is they have every reason to back whatever they are doing. Our lives needs to be protected. So long as we are helping you, you also need to help us. Imagine all the media houses in Ghana saying that, oh, we are not going to broadcast anything about any government. We are not going to do anything concerning whether the government want to communicate to the people, whether the government want to put something across. The media is no longer going to help them. How will they survive? And as I said, we work hand in hand. Without us, you don't exist. Without you, we also don't exist. There is no way there will be a protest and you will not see journalists there. They are there. We are there because that is our work. But if we get them, we are being assaulted, then does it add up? No. And this issue since 2023, it is during this government and the media assembly. Since 2023. And now they've been fined. For me, I think it's quite okay, but the people, the police officers who engage in that act, their license should be revoked. Because that is the best way we can use that to serve as a deterrent to others. If we don't do that, then we are creating more room for that to happen. Yes, the police will need to compensate her and others, and also bring out an apology letter. But those police officers who involved themselves in that act, what are they doing about them? Are they going to allow them to go scot-free? Or there are penalties that they are supposed to face? Because I remember it was during the same MPP administration that other journalists, and I always use this to cite an example, Caleb Kuda. It got a time he said his dad said Ejumano onjai because a bono no. And then when he came out and he was speaking, like, it was funny, but it wasn't. He was being slapped and all that. His phone was being taken. I don't know why these people, they behave like that. See, if you know you are doing the right thing and someone is videoing you, why should you take his phone from him? It is not yours, it is mine. Why do you want to take the phone? And then the most funny aspect is that they'll take the phone and they'll delete every video because they don't want a trace to whatever they are doing, since they know that what they are doing is wrong. But if they know what they are doing is right, they wouldn't have deleted those videos. People were detained. You cannot speak. You just have to shut up. And I can mention a lot. It needs to stop. That attitude is not preaching good about our democracy. It is not. It is common in other African countries, but this is Ghana. And we have the sole right. We have the sole right to video whatever we want to video. Unless when we get to a place where there have been a notice that this place, I remember when we went for that was beginning of this year, when some group of people were protesting for the release of Ken Ofori-Atta. We went to the embassy and then it was boldly written down that we cannot take videos, we cannot even cross our boundaries, and so all media houses were being kept at a particular place where you can take your video, but you cannot do it above your limit. No, you cannot cross that limit. And so we obeyed, because that is what the directive that has been given to us, and we cannot disobey it. That is reasonable. But in a case where there is no directive, come and protect us. Can you just imagine? Come and protect me and you are beating me up. So who should protect me? Journalists, the lives of journalists needs to be taken seriously. And even aside that, people, sometimes politicians, there was another program we went, and it was Regina and I. The planting of trees, they pushed us, oh God. The way they pushed us, I was like, as at that time, what the thing is, what will you even do? Because the man was denying he did it, but he did it. We were after the news. We were after the top people we can speak to get the info. This is not a police officer. This is a politician. And then he pushed us. He pushed us. I'm laughing, but it's not a joke. And this is what journalists go through every day. Every day. And I wouldn't say that all these police officers are bad. There are some bad nuts among them who are making the work so difficult for them. And those bad nuts are tarnishing the image of the service. They're making it look as if they are bad. But as I said, there are some good nuts among them. And the bad nuts are also there. Until we uproot those bad nuts out, or till we use them as an scapegoat to others, they are not going to stop. They will still be misbehaving. But when we don't use them as an scapegoat, this will continue. There is no way they will stop. There is no way they will stop. We saw an instance where a journalist was even slapped. And that one too, it was the same politician, Yaibi. A journalist was being knocked in the head. God. So please, we are pleading and we are begging you. If you want us to come and cover your video and you end up beating us, then stay at your stay. Be at your comfort zone. Let us also be at our comfort zone. But the thing is, we poke noses. That is our way. That is what we do. We would carry the info. You need to behave yourself. But when you don't and we get the video, we will publish it. Let us do the right thing and we will live peacefully ever after. But if the right thing is not being done, if the people who are supposed to ensure our safety are not doing it, it makes the work so difficult. It makes the work so difficult. But if they are doing the right thing, then that be it. It will run smoothly. We need you, you need us. We all need each other in this work. And please, those police officers should not be allowed to go scot-free. In as much as the service has been fined to pay that particular, to compensate them with that money, there should also be another way out. Yes, it is true. It is now the whole police, because even if it is one person that commit that crime, you are representing a group of people. But that one person who did that, there should be a penalty. There should be a sort of punishment that will be given to that person. When you do that, it will serve as a deterrent to others. But when we don't do it, and then it's only about compensation, someone might do the same thing, and in mind, it's about compensation. We'll compensate them, and then it ends. What if along the line she lost her life? What if along the line, one of them got knocked down, and then he never wakes up, and then he or she didn't wake up or didn't make it? As I said, we will cause you. And that is what we don't want to happen. We are trying to prevent that. There was even an instance where a journalist went to cover this Galamsey issue and he was being beaten by a military officer. In some video I saw, the journalist was being beaten. Na police he doesn't care. And no wonder they don't care, because they have been tipped. They've been given something. If we keep on doing this, we are treading on a dangerous path. And the day it blows up, we cannot contain it. And so let's just prevent such occurrences from happening. The first one has happened. We can still prevent it from reoccurring. Thank you for making time with me on Debbie's Club.
Thank you so much, Miss Debbie. The police is your friend, but it looks like the police doesn't want to befriend us. It's sad. Thank you so much for joining us on the first segment of the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. We'll be going for the news shortly, and right after the news, we'll be back. Please take and stay with us.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast. French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to the morning news update on Ghana Talks Radio. To some topmost stories this morning, Health Minister Kwabena Mintah Kando is cautioning the public against attacking medical staff over negligence claim, urging people to use official complaint channels. At the University of Ghana Medical Center, Medical Training Director Dr. Christian Owu is backing the free primary health care policy, but says emergency and critical care must be built into the framework for it to work. In the transport sector, the Ghana Railway Company Limited workers are protesting the Ghana Railway Development Authority's direct operation of passenger services in Tema and Takrade. National House of Chiefs President Ojiaho Yaojebi II is calling for a full overhaul of Ghana's mineral revenue. The National Identification Authority says 32,000 children aged 6 to 14 have been registered in the Volta and OT region, urging parents to get their awards on the Ghana card. These and many other stories across the globe coming up shortly. The Minister of Health, Kwabena Mintah Kandor, has cautioned the public against attacking health professionals over allegations of medical negligence. Speaking after the commission of the free primary health care post at the Medina Market, the Minister of Health said violence against healthcare workers was unacceptable and undermined the effort to strengthen the country's health system. He urged individuals with concerns about the conduct of healthcare workers to use the appropriate channels in lodging complaint. The free primary health care post at Medina Market is part of government initiative to expand access to basic healthcare services in underdeserved communities.
I will talk to our health professionals. Of course, let me admit and celebrate those who are doing wonderfully well. Let us not create the impression as though it is all of them. I mean, majority of them are doing well, but of course, there are very few ones of them who are destroying the image of the profession. And sometimes too, if you are not there and you don't understand the circumstances they find themselves in, you may also judge wrongly. You may judge wrongly. Sometimes they become overwhelmed, you know, and so these are some of the challenges. And let me put it on record. This one is very important to me. Irrespective of however any health professional will behave in any health facility, nobody, absolutely nobody, has any right to attack the person. You don't have that right. I am not encouraging them to quote unquote misbehave, but even if they do, you don't have the right to attack them. At best, you have to report, and we take it from.
In related news, Director of the Medical Training and Simulation Center at the University of Ghana Medical Center has welcomed the government's introduction of free primary health care. Speaking on the policy, Dr. Wu said the initiative is a positive step towards improving access to basic health services for Ghanaians. However, he stressed that for it to deliver maximum impact, essential emergency and critical care services should be integrated into the policy framework. He noted that strengthening emergency care of the primary level would reduce preventable deaths. According to him, early intervention in critical cases at community health posts could save lives and lower treatment costs.
Very super happy about the introduction of free private healthcare, and I have said to the director of the technical coordination that our team are happy to discuss how the EECC, essential emergency critical care, can be integrated into that, because that is at the back of where in our district hospital, in our regional hospital, in our tertiary hospitals, because our tertiary hospitals are not only specialized care, the general wards are general care. So if we are able to make sure that our health forces are able to integrate in an integrated manner, implement EECC, we have demonstrated that it may be able to save at least 1 million lives a year globally. And majority of these lives is in Sub-Saharan Africa, it's in places that look like ours. What that would mean, and this is not expensive interventions, these are not just training, these are system innovation. So I would just round up by saying that as we celebrate this, we also celebrate the advocates' work, the super work they're doing, but this can go a long way in supporting the introduction and then the integration of emergency critical care.
Thank you very much.
Workers of the Ghana Railway Company Limited have staged a protest against the Ghana Railway Development Authority's direct operation of passenger rail services in Tema and Takrade. The workers argued that running shuttle services fall exclusively under the Ghana Railway Company Limited's mandate, while the Ghana Railway Development Authority's role should be limited to regulation and railway development. According to them, the authority's involvement in day-to-day passenger operations undermines statutory responsibility and threatens job security. They are calling on government and relevant stakeholders to clarify the operational boundaries and ensure that the Ghana Railway Company Limited is allowed to carry out its core mandate without interference.
Yes, they have taken 40 people or 40 workers from Ghana Railway Company. And what we don't understand was that they are regulators, they are not operators. As the Act stipulates, they say they are regulators. We are the operators. So if they are coming to operate the shuttle service line, it means they are going contra to what their Act stipulates. So we are pleading to government, you should come clear and let us know who is running the shuttle service. Now, our number is around 800 plus. We are not reaching 900. We are 800 plus. 40 workers from us, which they said they have seconded them to the GRDA. And we don't know anything about their secondment. Our leaders have not informed us anything about it. That is why we are doing this press conference. We don't know anything about them.
We were not privy to them as a Bokodono. Now you have to say one family. That was one way. JIDAB, Yatsan FM station. There were Casa. Now you have it. Railway worker Biara and you are. Yet what to be Biala. If I'm the MD. MD on our MD. MD no so. I'm for workers and Uncle Bibiala and Frank Sayer. Into Yatsan one family. It's I the Railway GRDA Act in the last 98. It's stipulates that when they have no moral right, authority, no other any train without railway. One baby away or null and void. Yes, one shot, no one shot a mazin, young Canada mazin. What happened to railway worker Yajina Hasisiala? 30 years, or this over 35 years, or this what happened to us? 60 years, this happened in a railway paying for that. What happened to them workforce here? Yeah, I am the way. Let's see, Sala me. One time and I say, Trevor Jumano. In fact, workers, you know how the train be it is a trainer of bar, no problem. But problem is that since I select workers be that I want one man train no. I am like can I feel I really holiday. Only the problem I put it you the abandoning to say no and I let motive or the year that Mr. Lecture or the catcher him. Over catch your hand because you're over 800. You're also let's select 40. Good one in a yaka. I am to war. A officer, and to me, I'm in the office in Podi, why a baller? Some of the videos I will before the officer in the name of scraps. We will put including even you as I look to Wimpo. What to do in Aquila, brother, who are better. So, my uncle, now I'm saying, Auntie. So, now we're doing a good banana, but I'm a color one, more, mamma.
The President of the National House of Chiefs and Paramount Chief of Seshri and Miaso Traditional Area, Ojiahuhoya Ojebi II, has called for a complete overhaul of Ghana's mineral revenue sharing system. Speaking on the current arrangement, he argued that host mining communities continue to receive too little from the country's mineral wealth despite decades of extensive mining activities. He said the existing formula fails to reflect the environmental, social and economic impact by these communities. Ojiaho II stressed that a revised system should ensure a fairer allocation of royalties and other mineral revenues to traditional areas directly affected by mining operations. The call has to ongoing national discussions on resource governance and equitable development in Ghana's mining sector.
It was directed to royalty payments to Nanano. Nanano are the allodia title holders my observation is that wherever you find resources in an area, it becomes a resource curse. Why? I am coming from a mining area. I have 4 mining companies in my small traditional areas. Mensin Gold DBN Limited, Chirano Gold Mines, Ghana Bauxite, Awaso, and Kwanchu Mines. Awaso Bauxite Mines has been in existence for over 80 years. Awaso town roads are not paved. There is nothing to show for it. And that can also be spoken about Obuasi, Takwa, and other areas. Because this one too is money that part of it will come to Nana, let us, for this particular issue, assume that BBN Gold Mines pays $1 million in a quarter as royalty. Government takes 900,000, and we are left with 100,000. Apart from taxes, the carry interest and all those things, government will take 900,000 and 100,000 is left for the community. Of the 100,000, 10,000 will go to administrator of still lands. So we are left with 90,000 out of the $1 million. And of this, the municipal assembly or district assembly is allocated 55%, which works up to 49,500. So we are left with $40,500 for the stool for the community. That is why I am saying, if you are unlucky to have resources in your area, it becomes a case. 40,500. Assuming that 40,500 comes from a concession going through Bompata, Gabe, and another chief, you divide that also into 3, and that is about 13,000 plus. And so for that traditional area, it's 13,000 for traditional council and the stools affected. So you see, 1 million, and at the end of the day, it's only, let me take the 40,000, assuming it's in one area, one traditional area, 40,000. So since you are talking about what affects the land, I'm drawing your attention to this.
The National Identification Authority says it has registered 32,000 children aged between 6 and 14 in the Volta and Oti regions as part of its ongoing mass registration exercise. Speaking at a press briefing in Ho, the Executive Secretary Wisdom Deku disclosed that the exercise is aimed at ensuring every eligible Ghanaian child obtains the Ghana card. He urged parents and guardians in the 2 regions to take advantage of the ongoing exercise and ensure their children are registered without delay. Acquiring the Ghana card at a young age, they said, would make it easier for children access education and other social services. The National Identification Authority says the exercise will continue in other districts to meet a target of nationwide coverage for minors.
There's an LI 211 that makes it mandatory for your Ghana card to be used in terms of any transactions where identification is required. And as we are all aware, your Ghana card PIN is now your health insurance number, it is your SNP number, it's your TIN number. So meaning that a child who is being registered here automatically has a SNP number, it has a TIN number, and it has a national health insurance number. It means that that child does not need to go and register for health insurance again. As part of the SDG goals, in 2030, it says that legal identity for all, including birth registration. It is based on that the government has tasked us to start the registration of the children from 6 years and above. So if you see me here today, we started on the 5th of May, and it is important as the Executive Secretary of the Authority, I come around to see how the registration process is going. We are not going to end there. It's a nationwide that we are starting. We decided to start from voter and OT. So from here, I'll move to the OT region to also check to see how the registration is going on. So far.
Traders at the 31st December Makola Market in Accra are protesting against plans by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly to relocate them from the market. The traders says they were not consulted adequately and have raised concerns over the absence of a designated temporary location to continue their businesses. Speaking to journalists, interim market manager Benizda Brobe said the lack of an alternative site had created uncertainty and anxiety among traders, many of whom depend on the market for their daily livelihoods. He called on the Accra Metropolitan Assembly to engage stakeholders and provide a clear relocation plans that includes a suitable temporary space before eviction takes place.
Just the day before yesterday, we came to the shop and we realized that the lines have been cut off.
Which is the electricity?
Electricity, yeah. Okay. The line have been cut off. We made an inquiry and realized that, it wasn't from electricity, but from a certain group whose agenda we weren't aware. So we reported to the police. The police said, no, but it is these people who have to come and report that the lines have been cut, not you. We inquired from the electricity, we have an instruction from the AMA that the market is going to be demolished. Are you hearing me? The market is going to be demolished, so there was no point in keeping the lines off. That is why they cut it. So, okay, that's fine. And then, yesterday, we came back. Just yesterday, we came back. A barricade has been constructed here. And you can see a heap of stones and some sand at the various sections. This was done in the night, late in the night. When we heard the news in the night, we employed some of our people and some spies to come and check. We were able to identify some people from this market. I don't know whether the AMA hired them or they instructed to come and do that. And it's on our phone. There's one guy, when we started this agitation, he was with us. And he's the same guy, we call him Titi. He knows us and he has been coming to this place. It was he who organized this electricity cutoff, and the same person who also supervised this kind of barricade and then the sign heaping and so on in the night. We have all this with us. At any appropriate time, we can show it to anybody. And so we realized that it was an accident. We contacted our lawyers. He gave us advice on it, and we had to go to the police to report. They said, take it up with your lawyers. And our people were so angry that they decided that even if the AMA wanted to implement the decision of the court after the court verdict, at least we must have 2 weeks. We must have 2 weeks for that kind of implementation of the court verdict. But if the court sat on Monday and then the Tuesday we come and find this, then at least we have to take action.
Okay. So a quick one, just like your issue right now is at court.
Our issue is at court, but the main issue for why we are agitating is that at least.
In business, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Ken Ashigbi, has pushed back against proposals by the Institute of Economic Affairs to nationalize mining assets in the country. Speaking at a media engagement, he said the chamber is open to engaging on the matter, but stressed that discussions on the future of Ghana's mining sector must be driven by fact and not emotions. According to him, Ghana's mining sector remains a major pillar of the economy and requires policy certainty to attract long-term investment. He cautioned that attempt to nationalize mines without careful consideration could undermine investor confidence and disrupt ongoing mining operations. The Chamber's position comes after renewed public debate over whether Ghana should increase state ownership in the extractive sector amid rising gold prices and concerns over revenue mobilization. He maintained that the focus should rather be on improving compliance, enforcing regulations, and ensuring Ghana derives maximum value from its mineral resources. To sports, the board chair of Accra Great Olympic has expressed concerns that Ghana's football community has not fully learned lessons from the country's worst stadium disaster. The disaster, which occurred at the Accra Sports Stadium, remains the deadliest in African football history. It unfolded during a match between Accra Heart of Oak and Asante Kotoko Sporting Club when crowd dispersers led to police firing tear gas into the stand. The resulting panic triggered a stampede as supporters attempted to exit the stadium, with log gate contributing to the scale of the tragedy. More than 120 people lost their lives. Ametefio believes the legacy of the event of 9th May 2001 has not led to sufficient improvement in safety standards within the game. Reflecting on the incident more than 2 decades later, Ametefio suggested that similar risks remain present at matches in the country. His comment refers to more recent domestic fixture involving Heart of Oak and Great Olympics, where he says structural failure at a stadium raised fresh concerns about crowd control and infrastructure. According to him, such incidents point to a broader failure to apply the lessons of the 2001 tragedy despite its significance in Ghana's sporting history. The May 9th disaster led to widespread call for reforms, crowd management, and emergency response across the country. It also remains a defining moment in Ghanaian football, commemorated annually in embrace of the victims. However, Metefio's remarks suggest that concerns persist among some stakeholders about whether those reforms have been fully implemented. With football continuing to attract large crowds in the country, issues of safety and infrastructure remain critical to the organization of matches. As the country continued to honor those who lost their lives in 2001, the chair comments highlight ongoing debate about how best to ensure such a tragedy is never repeated. In showbiz, Ghanaian rapper Edem notes performing in a minority language forces artists to work twice as hard to gain recognition and reach wider audiences. According to the Volta region-born artist, rapping in indigenous languages outside the dominant Akan and Gan dialect often limit mainstream airplay and commercial appeal. He noted that artists who choose this path must put in extra effort in production, promotion and audience engagement to break through. Edem, known for his use of airway in several of his tracks, despite the challenges, using minority languages is important for preserving culture and giving voice to underrepresented communities. He encouraged other artists to embrace their local dialect, adding that authenticity and consistency can help shift perceptions over time. On global updates, South Africa secured $150 million development policy loan from the OPEC Fund for International Development to support reforms aimed at easing infrastructure bottlenecks, its National Treasury said on Wednesday. The Treasury, in a statement, said that the loan agreement was the first between South Africa's government and OPEC Fund. It aligns with the Treasury's financing strategy, which seeks to diversify funding sources and minimize increases in debt service costs. The Treasury said the financing has a 6-year maturity with 2-year grace period and an interest rate of 6 months secured overnight financing rate plus 1.25%. And that wraps up this morning news bulletin. Thank you for starting your day with us. For more updates, stay tuned to Ghana Talks Radio and follow us on all social media platforms. I am Deborah Ador, so up to next is the second segment of the Breakfast Show. Do have a good morning.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare.
Regina Bless.
Deborah Adoso.
And I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Ghana Talks Radio wo UK abrochimebo era from Ghana mu ha the sound system which spinning machine papa every amana ne aba begu oman Ghana mu ha enti se we ye a year we ye engagement we ye wedding we ye birthday party political parties are mo ye rally some we ye sorry mo ye crusade so we bo carnival or any kind of event now we pe spinning machine papa a boa sound no mu de dia ene me kanfo GTR sounds de emawo ya wa live band nso a woto nsa de frenya ye betimi ababeboa ama wudwumedi a wudie nso atimi aye kama pa ya wo enkan poponi mantamo anya aponchi hotel ho pepepe na ye butuo odi ane se wo be frɛ empanifo e wo 0546960510 GTR sounds emu wode angaza.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Good morning to you once again, and you are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show right here on Ghana Talks Radio. Remember that you are streaming live on Facebook at Ghana Talks Radio, on YouTube at Ghana Talks Radio, and also on X at Ghana Talks Radio. Do well to send in your comments. We will do well to read them back to you. Let's get interactive right here on the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Before we delve into the second segment of the show, my ladies and I will be looking at some interesting news headlines, news that is of relevance to you, and news that matter to you every morning right here on the show. These are some of the issues we'll be looking at and also what is trending. Good morning to you ladies once again, and you are welcome back to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
Yeah, a lot is happening. We'll be looking into that. And with regards to Abronyes, Arias, what Baumia said, let me seek your opinion on this before we get into the headlines we have slated down. Do you see the MPP preparing for revenge when they come into power. Because yesterday I saw something funny on social media, of which they said that if NPP comes to power in 2028, hopefully Abronye should be appointed at the Yoko office. Miss Regina?
Who said it?
It was actually a social media poll and that they conducted, that if they come into power, hopefully anytime they come into power, Abronye will be the boss at Iyoko. And that should tell you that if Abronye, after all that he has gone through under this government, if he should come back and if they should come to power and he's been appointed to be at Iyoko, that should tell you what will happen. That would be like a revenge, boot for boot.
So I would say, how would I even put it? Revenge, as you are saying, started from Bawumia, when he said our democracy is under siege. And also he said a time would come where a time would come where power would be accounted for. And that statement alone proves that when these people come into power, as he said, boot for boot. And this is not surprising because NPP, they do it. NDC, they do it. NDC, they do it. They don't do it.
They do it.
They do it. Because I've seen instances and video the same way. Is it Coca?
Yeah.
Coca. No.
Is it the
Santo Mano. Certain utterances he makes. You people, you leave power. When we come into power, you see, I've seen a video of an NDC man also doing that. So even if it's one single person, the party. So yes. So MPP, NDC, they all do it. I think this is the time where they really need to put a lot of things into consideration. Looking at what Abronye did, it was out of the box. It was not acceptable. There's no excuse for his actions. Excuse me to say, penny and kasasa. Penny ayatete on kasasa. Intana yeka say, sebio, excuse me to say, akola wejimino. Ono no nyi beye penny. And as happening, the fact that when you doesn't mean automatically nyasa gunichim. So I think this is the time where they need to put a lot of things into consideration. I don't know why they are wasting time on Abronye's case. He's supposed to be in jail by now. It's true. I remember one young man. I think by now they've released him. That TikToker that was jailed for 6 months. I don't know if you remember that case. I believe either by next month or July he's supposed to be released. He also, whatever Abronye is doing, that was the same thing this man did. And he was arrested, sent to court, and detained. And at the end of the day, we knew their final verdict. So I don't know why they are going back and forth with Abronye. Whilst evidence is there, the videos are there. And then Abronye anka. And I don't know why they are trying to make it seem as if this is all about politics. It's not about politics. We are talking about misinformation, causing fear and panic, spreading false information. That is what we are looking at. We are not looking at MPP. We are not looking at NDC. See, if not that Ghanaians are some way, and Ghanaians are, excuse me to say, I thought that almost imagine I touch a crank. There are certain people who are not supposed to come into power based on their utterances. Me, I'm very particular when it comes to what people say. So, Dr. Bawumia say, when I come into power, you do this, you do that. I will not. But when it comes to Ghanaians, you can even deceive them with just one CD. They'll vote for you. So, as you are saying, revenge, they'll do it.
Because looking at how they are speaking here,
once the MPP they come into power, we should be ready. Anyone that the NDC administration arrested, they would arrest their people also. So we should be ready for them.
Miss Debbie.
So you see, for me, the MPP are known for chaos. In as much as other political parties are also do the same, but their own is extreme. Now when we talk about they're complaining that their rights are being infringed on, they are not being given the space to talk, they are being intimidated. I don't see it as such. as a leader, you should know your limits. You should know what to say. If you end up saying something that needs you to be picked up for further investigation, you will be picked up, and you should be ready to face the law and also bring out your evidence. If you're not ready, don't just say anything. That is what I've noticed. Not because you're a politician or because you are affiliated to a political party means, I'm sorry to use this word, you should be fooling. No, you should know the right time to do certain things. You might be doing the right thing at the wrong time. You should pay notice on that. So you need to ensure that whatever you are doing, it's at the right time, and whatever you are putting across is not false. So the more reason why we keep seeing this every day is because the same party do not how will I even put it? They don't correct. Should I say they don't correct them, or they don't
lack of
discipline. Thank you. That's the word. They don't discipline them, because if they do, they wouldn't be doing what they are doing, and they find more solace in what they are doing because they feel like even if I do it, they will still back me. Even if I go out and I speak my mind and it's false, they will still speak for me. So yesterday, Regina was citing an example where this man, is it Fanti Comedy, made a whole lot of statements, insulted. Was it the president he was talking ill of? He was making false accusation and all that, and then he was being picked. And afterwards, he got released by Wu, the former vice president. Just imagine.
Could have done that under.
So it means that you are equally telling the person that do it more, I will save you. You have my back, so continue to fool. I'll come in for you. We saw instances where one person was making some false utterances. It was true. Through him, I realized that even in Sawam, they have VVIP lodge. Yes. After he was being released, and then he said when he got there, they made some few calls, and then they sent him to a VVIP lodge in Sawam prison. So it should tell you that the number of people they've been detaining or jailing, 99% of them are not in the main cell. They are in VVIP lodge, and they are being given chicken and fried rice every morning as breakfast. That is what he made it look like. So in a way, for us to fight this whole thing about misinformation and all that, it has to start with our leaders. If you don't take the right step, then how do you expect us to fight this canker? I follow your step. Whatever you do, if you're a leader, you have followers. Anything the person does, automatically the person is doing it in your name. If there should be a program and manager says, "Oh, listen, I'm going to represent GhanaTalks Radio," we didn't go there as a group. You went as a sole person, but you went in the name of GhanaTalks Radio. So if you misbehave, you're not misbehaving as SNMO. You're misbehaving as GhanaTalks Radio. If you go there, you do well. It is in the name of the station. So that is how it's supposed to be. So if you're a leader or a politician and your representative, especially the communication members or directors or how they call themselves, the way they talk, the way you talk automatically describe who your leader is and the party you're following. We don't need to bring the person in to talk. How you put your message across tells us who your leader is and who you are following. So they need to take the right steps, sanction their people, discipline them. If you don't talk well, they will keep arresting you. This is not the first time Abronya has been picked, but they be funny that.
Is it that he's not learning from his lessons?
If he's learning, can you channel?
So, he's not learning because the leaders in that party are suing him.
They're encouraging him. They are encouraging his.
It's just like you fully and your mother tell you that I did your back.
You know he's part of the communications committee.
On what?
The one they've brought up. He's part of
the one they wanted to make Kennedy the vice chair.
He's part of the communications committee.
No, sometimes the way you see people, that's not how.
But I'm wondering how they actually picked those people to be a part of the communications. Abron, I don't know. Excuse me to use the word. He doesn't speak to the issue.
No, we need answer. No, can say.
Message Gina. The trash. Let me use the word trash.
He speaks trash.
He doesn't speak.
He end up saying
on the issue. He end up saying
something else.
Yeah.
See, the MPP party themselves are not serious Because if you are talking about rebranding, you need to rebrand yourself very well to make you attractive to the people. Na nipa ogum hu fin no masakwa kofano.
You know one thing, the way you see him, that is not how they see him. I'm sure they see him as an angel, or maybe the savior of the party. Because see, if you look at the current system with the MPP, they are getting young communicators that are so good in what they do. We've seen some of them come here. There are people in the party who can do well, but then I feel like there is still some sort of favoritism or biasness in the party, where you can detect that this person is not that qualified, but they might pick the person because the rank and the connections that the person have, you do not have it. So you make your way to the top, forget it.
Right. That takes me back to what Van der Poel said. Respect boundaries of free speech. Van der Poel warns political activists. The national coordinator of the District Road Improvements Program, Neelante Van der Poel, has called on political parties to caution and discipline their supporters to ensure public discourse remains respectful and within the boundaries of the law amid growing concerns over inflammatory political commentary. Van der Poel stressed the need for responsible speech in Ghana's political space, warning that unchecked insults and offensive commentary risks creating an unruly society. According to him, political leaders must take deliberate steps to promote civility and mutual respect in national conversations, arguing that the increasing use of abusive language in public discourse could negatively influence younger generations who are exposed to such comments. If our children are growing up reading these things where people can continually talk by heart and say anything, we are giving them an indication that we live in an unruly society, and that is what they will also do. He referenced Ghana's Cybersecurity Act, describing as a very punitive, and advised political parties to encourage members to study and understand its provisions. He warned that failure to exercise restraint in public communication could expose individuals to serious legal consequences. But after all these comments, the offensive comments, the negative comments, the insults that some of these political party communicators say online, at the back of it all, what is the political party doing? Because as it stands now, looking at the case of Abronye, he made a negative comment. He defamed a judge, that the judge is biased, and the judge is a politician. Meanwhile, these bodies are supposed to be working independently, and they've taken you on. But it actually looks as if they are pulling the government into all of this. Where does the NDC come in all of this? And then we see their party members, coming out to say that he made an unharmful comment. So why are we taking him on, and then all of that? In all of that, what is the party also doing? You are speaking, and then they are arresting your people. What are you doing? What are you telling your communicators? Oh, do it this way, do it. Are they doing that? Because all we see is that if they arrest somebody, we see them chobe, then they go to the NIB. They go to the office over there, then they'll be ranting. Meanwhile, you don't want to admit that what your person said or what your person did is wrong. So if you go about it this way, are we going to grow as a country? If that is said about you, how would you feel? Just put yourself in the shoes of that judge. Do you think people will still employ him to speak on their issues because you said he's a politician? He or she is a politician and is biased. Miss Debbie, are they rebuking their people at all?
I'm not sure they are doing this.
Because even if you do something wrong, in as much as your mom is going to defend you outside, when you go back home, she will give it to you. But it looks like we don't see it at all.
They don't do it because when they are being disciplined in private, it should show forth in when you get out there, and then you try maybe doing the same thing, not necessarily like you putting out false comments outside, but then when you're being asked to communicate on something, you'll be careful to know how to construct your sentences and not end up misinforming people or putting across something that is false. But if they are being disciplined, like some of the communicators, we don't even have to be seeing them on our tellers. I mean, they have communicators that they assign to grant interviews and all that. So if they are doing that, some people should be on break.
Suspend them.
Yes, but they don't do it. They don't at all. Because if they are doing that, someone like Abronye, it's been long overdue. He should have known how to go about all this thing, because you're telling a judge that automatically you're telling the judge that he doesn't know his work. And so you should grant evidence to show that he was biased.
After how many years of going to school,
you get
law,
it,
and you come and just make a statement.
And you still have people who demonstrate that Abronya is being intimidated.
Oh yes,
not to,
I heard.
Not to say whatever he wants to say.
And
even the next day, there was a letter from the vice president.
A press statement.
You get it. So all these things are things that are fueling and energizing these people to do it the more. Because if you are being disciplined, you won't do that again. You will never do it again. Even if you are talking and then in a way it wants to come, you will control yourself. But they don't. That is how I see it. They don't. If they do it, but we should see it. We should be the ones applauding them that, of late, it looks like they've been changed in the way these people communicate. It looks like they are very mindful of the words they use. About some time ago, one of our sister stations was interviewing one of their communicators, and then he made a false statement about a health institution, and then he was being asked to call the person. They asked him, do you have the number of this person you said you spoke to? He said yes, and they said call him on air. He called, and it was false. The person said it was false. He doesn't even know anything about. So can you just imagine, this is on live telly, everyone was watching.
How
him.
do you embarrass yourself?
I was shy and embarrassed on his behalf. So these are things that I feel like they should pay more attention to. And someone might say it's not necessary, but for me, I feel like once in a while, there should be something like a training or a seminar where these people will be taught on how to conduct themselves, the use of some words, their avoidance. At this age, dear, we shouldn't be talking about that. But as the saying goes, I mean, there is no age limit in learning. We learn every day.
Ms. Regina?
So I would say when it comes to discipline their communicators, they are not really putting in much effort, because I believe that if they do, we wouldn't be seeing what we are seeing on social media. First time is a mistake, but second time is not a mistake, it's a choice. And I feel like this is a deliberate action. They are intentionally doing it. I don't know if it's just for publicity. I don't really have the right word to use to them, but I think they need to make sure that they discipline their communicators and also the leaders as a whole.
Right. Thank you so much, my ladies. Thank you so much for joining me to look at some few news headlines. We couldn't even look at them, but we actually spoke on what is trending. Abronye, do you indeed think that our democracy is under threat? Share with us in the comment section. Thank you so much. We'll be coming up with a second segment.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
Good morning to you once again, and you are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Remember that you are streaming live on Facebook at Ghana Talks Radio, on YouTube at Ghana Talks Radio, and also on X at Ghana Talks Radio. If you've been following us for quite some time now, you should know that Friday, for our Friday morning show, we've added a bit of a tweak to it where we invite other personalities to speak on national issues, social issues, could be any issues at all. Last week we had the fire service personnel in the studios, and today we'll be looking at some other issue as well. And for our theme this morning is revenue sensitization. That is what we'll be looking at. And we have Mr. Emmanuel Ahin, who is the Deputy Chief Information Assistant. He'll be taking us through that topic this morning. Today we turn our attentions to a very important national issue, revenue sensitization, and the role it plays in national development, where revenue generation remains a key pillar in the growth of our economy, including Ghana, from taxes and levies to other forms of public contribution. And these revenues help fund essential services such as healthcare, education, sanitation, the roads, and all the things you see. But today we'll be looking a lot into that. We are going to be going deeply into that this morning. To help us understand issue, we have Mr. Emmanuel Ahi, the Deputy Chief Information Assistant. He'll be looking at that. But before we go, we have another personnel joining us this morning, Reverend George Anand Jr. He is the Principal Mobile Cinema Operator. He'll also be looking into that this morning. As I mentioned earlier, it is revenue sensitization. I believe you are guessing what is it, but don't worry, we are in safe hands. They'll be looking into that this morning. They'll be speaking a lot into that. If you have any question, we are streaming live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter at Ghana Talks Radio. Just send in your comments. Let us know what you don't understand. They are here. We'll read it to them and they will explain. If you have any opinion you want to share as well, just drop it in the comment section and we'll read it back to you. Good morning to you, gentlemen, and you are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Good morning, Reverend.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Right, Mr. Emmanuel, you opted to use local language, so let me go the local way. Yeah. It's a saying. Well, I should speak Ewe.
Oh, I hear, but I can't.
You can't speak.
Interact with them.
But looking at your surname, it looks like yes. Ahin.
It looks more of an Akan name than
Ewe. But have you had such comments that it sounds like an Ewe name?
No. Ahin.
Oh, okay.
Ohin.
Oh, okay.
Ahin or Yohin.
I know of an Ewe man who is also Ahin.
Okay.
That is
name,
why I'm asking.
Naming of a name there, it doesn't go with the.
Okay. I see. Right. Right. It's good to have you in the studios.
You're welcome.
Right. We just can't wait for you to get into the issue. Now, for our theme this morning is revenue sensitization. What is it actually about? But before we get into that, I saw that you play a very significant role, which is the Deputy Chief Information Assistant. What is that role? Can you briefly explain to us and what you do?
Sir, position what we do, Deputy Chief Information Assistant. Ye no information ejuma de rubona na ye boma aban no ye I can say ye as a ye referee ye di game e de ama aban no.
Oh, okay.
And ye say ye bodero e de ma aban no.
Right. Reverend, he also happens to be a cinema operator. How has it been? How's the journey been so far?
Very well. By God's grace, I think it's just recently that we have been retooled when it comes to my section. We work with a cinema van, and as far as screening is concerned, where we have to give film shows and educate people and then also disseminate information through government messages. And as he said, we are referees, so we take feedback from you, the public, back to the government.
Back to the government.
For my role, I operate the cinema equipment, and by God's grace, risen to the ranks of principal cinema operator. Yes, please.
Right. It's good to have you.
Sure.
Right. Now, to you, Mr. Ahin, kindly tell us what the revenue sensitization is all about and what we need to know.
Revenue sensitization. Assembly, I have Central Municipal Assembly. A buy a swear back one, a war municipality. Hana, a decay. Now, Juma Yedi say, a choir assembly no, a bit to me. Abo ayeshe abo de ro ema yemo ayewo municipality ha no obi bia be hu se na kwan obefa so a obi abaye na dwen yi se me no yete o man mu nkwan de asudi kakra ewo ye so se yehwe sika na yetua eto e de ko aban mu aha ne center no ye office no edumafo no bebre ewo ho chese eye say your man for ehu sensitization your man wadwen e ba so say e was sidie e was sudi say e say u pesika na odistuo aban ba beje aban e beje ska wo ho a sebio onde nika onde aban ka o but emra e hyew say e say wo ye omeni no wo omeni mu no e say wo so unya bibi edema oman no na de aban eye ne se sa oman no ska ye jiri na no ska no aban onkedi o onfen ye hwe de mom se ode bobo yankasa ye ho municipality no ho bra me no ode bobo yankasa ye ho ebra am I making sense?
Yes. So that is the revenue sensitization.
Yes.
So it's more or less like paying taxes and then levies, and this levies are used for infrastructure, our roads, and also sanitation, just to make the community better for everybody to live in.
Exactly.
Right. When it comes to taxes, a lot of people feel reluctant to pay because they feel they are not satisfied with what the government is doing, and they don't really see the importance of actually paying those taxes.
Yo, but that's it. The only say, it has been a jargon that nobody wants to pay tax. Tax paying, the payment of taxes. Everybody feel reluctant. Nobody appreciates or embraces taxes. Yes, but you go around. It means that you are doing our own self good. When you pay out taxes, then it means indirectly you are making our own self good, and even if not the best. You see, you might say tax down to amount for yana wa to cry. It's said now immediate resource no and our responsibility amount for the BID no omo to break and for any engine. Nanso obekọ ba no na yankasa ye tua da ya no yankasa na ebe ye ho adwuma skada ye tua do eno ana ba be dandan na asa etwa no ho asa abaye yankasa be no yigina yie ama yakoma atoyem se mekasa kra betu akasa kra ya na ye ta Ghana ya East Legon East Legon ye kana fo ye kasa de ha ye fit say East Legon a denama is legal a year fair. Yes, because yes, because the people there are conscientized the payment of taxes.
Would it be the businesses or the individuals there? Because I believe government gains a lot of revenue from businesses rather than from the indirect taxes we even pay.
Yes, the mindset. If you know where you are, you know where you are going. Unim adena obeye no. Nti obi o ha obi no a o tua tax a onim mfaso a tax no ebeba no a obekasa ho bebre obi obekasa ho bia say ade na wo ye no ono ankasa dey on tiase. Are you with me? Me the taxpayer if I'm asked to pay tax and I feel some kind of reluctance, yes, then it means I don't understand whatever I'm asked to do. Anytime I'm yes,
right.
Yes, because because tax now
So that would be your responsibility to tell the public the essence or the relevance of paying those
yes, and say woman pano in your side tiasedo. Only problem. Now half of your issue has been solved. Almost half of it has been solved. Now I can't go by with you.
Right, Reverend.
Yes, madam.
Yeah. Revenue sensitization. What is it and why is it important?
Okay, so revenue sensitization is when we educate people, conscientize them, sensitize them that they have a civic responsibility. So then they duly make their payment as required by law. So that is what the essence of sensitization is concerned. And why do they pay? They pay because they also believe that government uses these resources to create enabling environment development for everybody in the community. But it takes, it has been on a slow pace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It has rather been on a slow pace instead of being rapid. And what we have realized is that people are responsive to payment and their obligations when they see the development ongoing. Indeed, the development has been ongoing, but like I said, on a slow pace. Certain areas have had their fair share of the development as far as road, drainage, construction, electricity, and these things. Some of these things, amenities, have been there over the years, but it needs to be improved. So the question is that the reason for this thing being there is not deliberate. Some too, you may have it that they are just enjoying the money, or they are not utilizing the money, let me put it that way, usefully. Then we look at Article 252 of the District Assembly Common Fund, and that is giving the district assemblies only 5%. Can you imagine? How much can 5% do in a year?
So that means the government is equally not releasing funds.
It's releasing funds, but it is scanty.
Peanuts.
Yes, you understand. So the assemblies by the Local Government Act, Article 252, Section 146, is also talking about where the two sections, that is DAC, DACF, and then IGF. IGF is also the second angle or arena where government generates income. So the IGF are used for schools and other things, but we need to put all these things together.
Right. Sorry, before you proceed, what's the full meaning of IGF?
That is internally generated funds. Yes.
Right.
Yes. So under the IGF, we have different number of rates. We have the property rate, that is internally generated. We have the basic rates. We also have business operating permit. We have maybe building permit. You understand? So out of all these things, and when people come to pay, it gathers some funds, put them together in addition to the DACF, and then do development in the communities. When we went round, other people have been saying they've lived in their community for 30 years. Some say 20 years, but they haven't seen a single development. But thanks to the government, certain areas are seeing development. When we talk of Agape, Ablekuma Agape from Pentecost Junction to Gonse, they are constructing the road, which hasn't seen any development, a single tarred road for about 22 years.
What about Desert Road? All the way to Deseret?
Yes,
so
Desert Road, junction. You can appreciate that it wasn't like this before, like I think 4 years ago. It wasn't like this, but it has been tarred. People call it sapitin. You understand? It has been tarred. Just that from the bridge here, because of the drainage structure, they have to complete it. And from Deseret to Antioquia Junction also is under the purview of construction, given to somebody to look at it. There was a drainage issue, you know, where the water should pass and all that. And that has been a reason for blocking, but it has been resolved. So very soon they will have that road done. And our MC is very hardworking and promising. You should expect this thing. When he says he will do, he does it.
He will do it.
Yes.
So we should hope that in the coming months we will see our roads being constructed.
Exactly.
And that should tell us that our taxes are working.
Being used, yes.
Right. Mr. Ayin, what are some of the taxes that we are expected to pay?
Oh, as he mentioned,
you can feel free to speak in your local dialect.
And I feel comfortable on that line.
Yeah, so you can.
Yeah. You know, can be say property rate. And so you acquire a fast one. You to me, a toga cry, if you Timam for a month for.
Right. Property rate, no, and no, day.
Property rate today, say, Yankupaya wa doom. No, to me, a sit down as I say sit down. No, that I will see, a wow deal. Government on fiscal money be anshimamo. What we see done for fair. And now, gentleman, information officer, also about was so opening mammy, Pesa Uday, me high, repair, single room, and not chairman hall. Special Mobiano, when you be Eddie Amano. I feel be out or more advanced with Chamo. Inti a mreno elcono. One guy said, well, if you know a Yaudiano, if you rano, and you were so dear, say, I feel be able no, as I said, with me, Kakra, Educo Abemu, property, a very property rate. What is it? Why would I know? Why we see no?
It all started to say, oh, higher. I was so Utia taxes be. I was so.
I feel be I know, so Utia, but almost it's measurable. In Chadike, you share the size, yes, and no more, more, the house in the one they do that operation, almost make kutu, and then I would know. The book is kind of say the Utia do call Abem. What does it?
Okay, is there no more measurements? Is it by the number of rooms? Is it the size
the professionals
of the land? Teachers.
And you know the number of rooms, the size. This is
the environment.
This is coming.
The location.
So that means that if you are somewhere around East Legon or Spintex, you will pay more.
You pay more.
Yes.
Why?
The environment.
Why is it like that?
Yes.
How do you measure the environment to?
Exactly. But before I touch on that, we have under the article, for the rates, what we call fee fixing. These are people who are responsible to determine how much you should pay. It's under the act of fee fixing. Okay. Do you understand? Yeah. The next thing is that these areas, we have the cosmopolitan areas, we have the prime areas. So you can talk about airport residential area. You can talk about East Legon, as they are saying, that they are prime areas. These are, in a very advantaged areas or location.
Would you say that they are well developed?
They are well developed, they are well developed, well constructed environment and all that, where they have their service roads and everything intact. So once you are living in such prime areas, it calls for a little bit of rising rates.
And that is assumed that when we are living in a prime area, that means that business is good and you can move about freely, since it has to do with housing and it's properly laid out.
Sure.
Right.
Prime areas, because people happen to patronize activities in those areas highly than you may expect in Antioquia. Please, you understand?
Yes, I understand. I get it.
A low economic landscape or area like Antioquia cannot be, say, compared to how brisk businesses are developing in those areas. Airport, they are the prime areas. East Legon, so it goes with a bit of rising. Yeah.
Right, Mr. Ahin.
Hello.
Yes, you can continue for me.
Okay, and me to answer be or could do that. No, you didn't at two property rate. You also war business operating permit. I didn't understand no a sika. They call a bemo. A scar a buy no quasi oji. And we business operating permit.
And that is collected from business owners?
No, the assembly collects those. But assembly no. Atabemu. He overlords, the assembly overlords all over this, oversees all these. The property rate, the business operating, fee fixing, rent from assembly property, and land permits. Nina assembly no. Open say auto as a simple. Auto as I say, you are never called as land as we know land permits. Land permits no. Yes, a 2 million crata. On the assembly no more. Woman ebe sa land permit no at the amount. Within 30 working days, there will be you may need to provide certain important document, 1 or 2 be maybe a site plan, site plan be bare for
drawing.
Yeah, drawing of those. Yes, I know it's a bit technical. What to go there?
That impression Kasagu Mike.
Oko in no man who hears say wobu kache na a wobu provide no odi na ba wo mu ebeje sa permit no e dia mo permit no ade ba ko eboa pa ne se won ka se ebo ho ban what to asat what my permit e ko bibia wo say ye fix e that e first fast service gadget ina no permit ina to me e fa so eboa wo your notification so many technicalities it involves in those permit you know say oh yeah sa permit no nya no nti permit no eboa wo akwan bebre eso a che say ebema ebe complete ebia we si building we much permit development ay barrier nti construction no a che say e down we say dey yibubu edan no efiri ho edan ra no we ye be hwe no on the permit now edan da che say o si dan wa bibia che say ampa oye permit bibia wo line nti edo no ebe say aban say ye here kwan by force eno no nde de yan say ono aban ibubu edan na because all permit kata edaso no or bambo he's well secured because of the permit now or warranty. Yes, or license. Inti abantu yet gina so ehwe ereti edano I say you be change and a kwan bia so no yet gina so because of the existence and I say the ownership of a permit or what's that permit inti you bet me amano equally and almost equal to there na or no I say bet me you bet be swap maybe or lose the premises no and I dan because of the issue of another what permit into no a bioquamano I'm a chess to be there it be a shed and I just say lose because of the permit no and who papa
but your name kaka
money type of taxes now
okay I feel fee fixing and I rent from assembly property. Rent from assembly property no assembly to me it to me it's dying and now office be assembly ready at the rent into over year no be or assembly be just kra just say we was a ticket daso ubetua na udutua another means of the assembly accruing revenue say I say yeah high who say yeah nice park do also yes
Nina taxes are
yes,
yes,
boys no ever boy if you 1 hour they almost can charge if you 2 hours anything a quite a buy no a first out to be the revenue educo a buy no confess bar you to me the year in
right. Partial types of taxes now, son. And there's more.
My bobo. Okay, after since I met me, call you will be sure no basic rates.
Basic rates.
Yes, and also another form of taxes in the basic rate and a flat fee. Basic rate, you know, and a first no, yeah, what first lampuda land pool the lampu so what is that
I am some matter
at least afo asum lampu me kura mi so no me kai na me nam sa nkran tudu area station lolo station bo tudu akra mu say na those tax collectors no omo edi amanfo echi una obey no omo na obi adoji
buy phone
nya abayi omo je revenue collectors it's lampu for that me be sure na me ti mu de omo ye no but we say they were at the end of the day trying to collect that revenue from the passer buyers the pass buyers the pass by among for we chop no omo we di at 23 no yes omo je sa tax no efi omo enchen
sa tax is omo je a omo de
sa lampu no land pool satam no almost started ya che say obu says kana and mutu aka say in my own version me say I can say it's something like the property rate now also me can something about the building yes it's another form of another tax because once I own nam Ghana as so there already 18 years equal to 70 years no you are bound to pay that tax
so I don't know I was
yes.
So how do they collect it? Do they come house by house, or when they see you on the streets, they take it from you?
Yes. Open sky there. The young say, the man was street to info. The young say, Nipano, what prepared Nipano? Why ready so with you? So with 18 years, I acquire. Uchiano, which could you? Good morning. Say, could you, Pacho? What you are Olampu? Menchai, and I what you are basic rate no. Menchai, I didn't want to say. Menimpo, I was city sales out also Katrano or Bana Bema from 18 going no.
And they are composed.
Yes, so to be convincing now or not, I told you no Wuska will be to 5 Ghana cities.
By no Mungu Soje.
Yes,
because
5 cities. The rate trouble on the lower. One of the lowest side of 5 cities there is car, but it is car. So be Ghana about 30 million plus. That's a that's a chimpo half of the population where to the age of that 18 to 70 years we are qualified to pay that those taxes now. Ghana, the Shiska Ghana and Sa Ebeka. Oh.
It's a basic rate.
Yes.
And
lampu no. Hence, I don't lampu no. It was up to 70 years. Now, Sas cake cry now. I am not any kind of amount for any jehu ni chia now say your ma ni chia no ye de. Nemom no, said what kind of you who the
benefit
the resource.
Right. Until the member who make a cry.
I just want to chip in this.
Okay.
I'm not call me name me bra ye. You call mosque bi o palace town. Me call you no. Obisa me say e dent na ma ba ho na so ye be bo the road dey ama kwan ye be fasa obi abetumi ama ne kakra wa de be obutua ko abamu. No say dan mo aye. No e dan mo aye. Am so ampa udi asembusa de udi bisa pa yes ushemu a wo enisuo no practically no yen enough the government has not performed to satisfactory level. Wajebi, but in do gauge no wajebi. But a young say young so it to me a body rules to show me. Now at times no scatter your kwaji no I have fun. Nimpa ya kwaji for young people, you are reluctant to go to them for the money. What are they?
Yeah.
And so mommy every month be somebody 10 cities or officer. But me somebody can remember. Also 19
in the say mo penny for no so mo kan ho bi.
What eh?
Mo kan ho bi nti na ban ni yes ka no.
Yes. Ohodo ejuma say ye you will ejuma I say ye ankasa the collectors especially and they some the task force say they all back the collectors but the task force they say ye enforce so emma abai nti emma yankasa na okoso na onemu ajuju say you are not doing enough.
We are not doing enough as individuals.
Yes, as individuals.
We all have a role to play.
Yeah.
Right, Reverend.
Yes, I want it. Okay. Then I'm person me can to the kind so. Say you can land permitter because your education I wish people get to know the requirement. Normally they are on a land permit. Until they have to know, say, before you be given the permit, which is the last stage, you then have to submit your land document. So, just bring along that land document. The land document that states the size or the measurement of the land. You should previously have gone to the land commission to verify say land ya matono e wasimesi dimu and as asimesi autonomy or the rightful owner we are register land no o register we are na we dimu afi obey search report nene dey become first no obey search report until we search report in beka land document no dey about assembly o dey ba and also obey 4 drawings, architectural drawing. I just say me pessimisi abansoro anasi efitia. Enti enu chira me pacho eho na obeba beji requirement na wasan akwa aba. Say kona ko hwe say EPA Environmental Protection Agency. Omo hwe abibia wo si wodan e okay. Ena yewo soil test. Say ebia structure na person di si dan no. Assassin no a good say bit be a continue structure na enti no so obey na fire service and so ayo mo de enti ukoye sa requirement yi ba ansana plus your drawing no ansana in 30 days time when your permit na we dey see wodan enkofo be brave feature anase omubuso they don't follow the procedure. You find them almost at a building. One, almost building either someone who konaman be na one money be kakra and all building. And that site inspection for Subabano almost Subaba beji omude. Say one beji permit na who see and until bet your penalty. So penalty no so your double officer near season on your money there. You can see the struggle and embarrassment I will go through. You should avoid it by coming forward with your requisite document for you to get your permit. When you get your permit and you are building, and you are feeling ya bejo on your man or free say, oh papa, ya jibbing your mo, that kind of thing. So these are things that people should know and then do it rightly. And there is a 4-year development plan for as far as I know the municipal assemblies, district and municipals. A developmental plan of 4 years ago maybe was tackling, there are about 15 electoral areas. You understand? It's tackling some electoral area now. Emba ho, ebia wo yewo New Kind West, New Kind Man East, yewo Olebu electoral area. Those are quite a number. Into every electoral area so gene development. until you see that there is a stress or strain on the little that comes. So the mebra kind I was see a call out near koji property rate in your man for expected because maintain that said they're okay. Say there's something like basic rate. I mean what have for so long Obiamba higher. So our people would need to up their game. We have 3 stages. There were education, which is what we are doing. There is also implementation. After education, people have to implement what they have to do. Then we have enforcement. After implementing Sanyoma, we will be in the SWA. Clean up, sanitation, Nyoma, and so be in the SWA. We need to enforce what the law is saying. So as you see, before we start to wejumano, pra we nim has sanitation. Now so when yet. Entino embra nacho enforcement and also task force na say near task force kakra and also a touch makakra. We need more people. We are not supposed to be burning refuse. Sanitation, I was say ultimately, yes, it's this time around, the waste collectors, professional waste collectors, to come around and register people for a fee. Na yabefa waste na mo. Inti under the law, obi ansese o she enra. Oshimra with Yambra.
By
Yehunisa and think of what shit farm who did the beer. I just say, look at the climate change. Evident. Say, the way I hear treat the environment and what. And then I toy the month for. So be answering.
Right. Mr. Hello. You mentioned that your people are not equally coming for the taxes, and then due to that, I believe government is equally losing revenue from there. How do we go about this, or how do you encourage your people to come around and come and take the taxes?
The woman say you have to be up and doing.
Exactly.
You have to obi and say eduane teacher one no di e comedy was so didi scano e wo se ye kwaji scano one dem for so one ka se na wo se wo kona wo kwaji scano nti assembly no say o mobilize workers na wo no at ko ye dem wo be side that assembly no adom ye obi oni revenue unity, but once you are a worker within the assembly there skajije omufa ye nyina esaye la ye ko about 2 weeks ye fa bas ye chiamanfo so ye pe akolete yes nti ema amanfo ni eba se so bibia otika bia no tua edeko abemu nti ye na se for so you credit card one ba ofema won giving is not giving just like that too. You cannot collect my money from me just like that. You have to come for it. Ena nti yanko nti assembly no say so yemu assembly penifo no so time there should be a program here every 2 months or 3 months bia no na we are going for a ride collection nti obia you be cheche mu segment department 20 guess na yako jiji ye side na afra man for so be hu say nkofo na omuskaje no time wa dey aso nti uni ska we bomodin apabi e dey uni bia we be time ye be ska so ska na ye gidigidi ye nso mene wo ba na uni bia wo be ma time ye gidigidi o kasa interaction ma ya interact fefe akeye ka nti o se sa na asami no ye na ye diska no ne sanso ye ade ba ko bi you be your friend deba asami no should organize those kind of deba so that you liaise with the people, because the assembly works with the people works with the assembly. We are who you were and you work together. Into us a deba, you organize deba now omuba near church or sad no they will part of the work that we are doing.
So awareness and education.
Yes. But so we can't attend back. You can't the government's grant no IGF na is that what IGF and what has property rate na after your back no donor and government partner partner support, donor and development partner support. Donors, also another division where from their donors. We call World Vision. Among for to Ghana, Ghana Juma, but donors, almost man keke. They are donors and they are support partners. Almost no boy. So what I say, when we say donors, yes, World Vision. When World Vision, almost see school, to see school, to see hospital. No, they are check community. On the far assembly, no, and some. Oh, indirectly, the government, you know, but donors they also they contribute a lot, immensely. But now, me highlight on that side also. The donors and development partners also for our development.
I know, they do it freely.
Yes.
Out of their own. Just as we've seen some of big men also doing in communities, donating hospitals, donating to the schools, building police stations.
Yes.
So those are done willingly. With collaboration with the assembly.
Yes.
Right.
No. We have the USAID.
Okay.
You understand? They are part of like World Vision, USAID. These are donors. And donor funding is what we are talking about. So when there is a project in the community to alleviate, like say, poverty, they come in with interventions. To alleviate a disease, they come in with some interventions that can. So anytime there's project, these people also donate to the assembly and to the common development of the community.
Right. Are there any challenges you are facing as an assembly to, convince people to pay their taxes?
Well, challenges. You may find people when you go to the field that they are dodging, swerving, swaying, avoiding.
But is there a punishment for such people? Is there because obviously it's against the law that you don't pay your taxes?
Yes.
Are those enforced?
That is the issue. So we are talking about enforcement in that regard. So we need more strengthening the task force and all those things so that people can pay. When they are put before the law, they will do the right thing. Now, other things like to solve the issue of people not paying, I think the assembly has come up with some technology to make people pay from the comfort of their home. Do you understand? So currently the assembly is going out for data collection as we speak. They rolled out this week. So they go to households, to collect their data. For instance, your Ghana card, your GPS address, your name, company name, and then your phone number, and any other further inquiries they will make to update the system and make payment of your taxes more convenient. So that is what the assembly is rolling as we speak.
Right. Now, back to the use of digitalization and technology. Daddy mentioned that we have something we call the basic rate, which is entitled to anyone above the ages of 18 years. That means that it's compulsion mandatory for you to pay, just as I mentioned. If not today, I don't know that we have a tax like that you just be walking in and they come and ask you that pay this particular amount of money. Could there be a way that we digitalize this particular kind of tax, that it should be that just as we have Momo, we have the insurance, immediately your salary comes, they take it out automatically? Can there be a way we divert it so that once will allow everyone pay, and that will generate a lot of money for the government, so that we see the delayed roads and delays infrastructure that we see, at least it could curb it. Yes. I don't know if you guess what I'm trying to say.
Even with a smile on your face says it all. You understand? So it's a good initiative that the government need to adopt. Because when they started this e-levy thing, I'm sure it was a way of developing and getting more into the tax net. as we speak now, this is a good initiative that we also send back to them. If they can inculcate into even the current one that they are doing, I'm sure it will foresee all these things and then have it culminated into it, and it's going to help because we have households, we have businesses, we have all these things in the community that we are not reaching or they are out of the tax net. So we need to put all of them together and then make sure that the amount that will come to the kitty is really increased.
Right.
Yes.
Daddy, when it comes to our country here, one thing we are fighting is corruption. People are saying that, let me not say people are saying that. There have been comments, we are paying our taxes, but we are not seeing the evidence of those taxes. And then due to that, just as I mentioned earlier, people are feeling it reluctant to do so. What is the government going to do? Because if I see my taxes working, why not? I'll be happy to pay the tax because I'll know that my water will be flowing 24/7, my electricity will be there, and then my roads are better. Instead of me to take 15 minutes to get to instead of me to take 1 hour to get to a place, if the roads are good, I'm going to take maybe like 10 minutes to get to those places. If you are seeing the evidence of these taxes that we are paying, I believe people will pay. But what is the government doing on their side as well? Are we transparent and accountable to the people enough that will encourage the people to pay the taxes?
Of course,
and
we are accountable to the people. When we organize community engagement and stakeholders engagement, these are way of giving feedback to them and them being aware or creating awareness of whatever we are using their money for. So that's why I came in with a 4-year development plan. So the assembly has a development plan that he wants to do in 2 years, 3 years, this kind of project. So as we speak now, there is water project dotted around about 6 communities or areas in the municipality. You understand? I can talk of Ablekuma, I can talk of a few other places that you find borehole water being dug as we speak. We are building a school at Agape top station there.
Out of the taxes.
Out of the taxes. We are building the school because that place we don't have a government school. There is also a hospital at Abasi that is also having a facelift or development. Actually on for completion. It has been started, but we needed some funds to complete it, so it's also ongoing. Understand? So the taxes are being put in use. The issue is that when you have poor management or poor management of resources, so people's experience in previous regime has been that it's nothing to write home about. So there's a new, government, and we all know that this government is doing very well to win the trust of the people. So as we speak now, we are not doing politics, but we are speaking the realities on the ground. So development is ongoing, and like MC and those people, they are really accountable to the people, and we see that evident in the community engagements that we do.
Right. Daddy.
Hello.
Would you add your voice?
Okay. The one said, the can say that will be said no, and no, we are no come. The woman say, I said the government, we should challenge, we should prompt people in authority, the leadership, they have to be up and doing.
Exactly.
And we should hold them accountable. Periodically, the people should come to them. We have to go to them for them to give accounts to, because they are almost strangers, so almost boy buy almost yes and any. They see a common chain near Copusu, near Shese, and then no more, yen pinpoint to say, Sarah, my, but 1 year, you should hold them. Also, yes, and you get it, but dialogue, I don't want because I know Cassady, no, our nerve is not the best. You are doing something, but what order you are rendering to the people is not the best.
It's not the best.
It's good, but it's not the best.
But it's not the best.
That's my quote unquote challenge as Ghanaians. Ye pay me Odia crowd you Odia no on so ofude we ataze only be di na moto lakra but there's a lot for us to do.
There's a lot for us to do. I believe you work hand in hand with GRA too, since you are into tax collection.
Yes.
We've seen a lot of companies leaving. Okay, I know of only two. We've seen some companies leaving Ghana because they've complained that the taxes are high. We've seen Glovo leave. We've seen Game also leave, complaining that the taxes are high. To those companies, what can you say? What can you say to that? Is it indeed true that the taxes are really high for those for some institutions?
We are information officers. We don't handle tax revenues and all that. Even though we have a revenue department, that goes with a fee fixing by law of the local government law 252. So we can't say much, but it is that everybody knows that before these companies will leave, this is the reason they gave, and we haven't had a buttress say or somebody come to counter that. If there was, we would know. So for us, we have little to say about that. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's fine. This is still the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. We are streaming live on Facebook. We are streaming live on YouTube as well, and also on X. Do want to send in your comments. Let's get interactive right here on the show. And as I mentioned, the theme for today's morning show is revenue sensitization. If you have any question, just drop it in the comment section. We'll do well to read them. Right. I think at this juncture we are almost wrapping up the show. Is there anything you want to add up to?
Sure, I'm adding up to his point.
Right.
And that when you talk about accountability, like he previously said, we know we have something we call PRCC. You understand?
PRCC.
Public. There's a report system. Do you understand? Where you feel that maybe the assembly is not handling you well, our assembly officials come to your premise and then they don't handle you well. They are aggressive and all that, and you feel your right has been breached. We have a procedure. You have a process that you come to the assembly and let the officers know that this is what or misconduct that somebody has done, and then we'll address it. Or you seek
so it's more or less like a feedback.
Yes.
If you're not okay with how we came.
Yeah.
And because if you're taking money there, you have to pamper us. In as much as it's our responsibility to pay, you still have to pamper us.
So that you can keep your smile.
So that we can keep our smile and pay smiling as well. So it's very, very important. So if you have any reports or any issue as to how a personnel or a revenue officer treated you, and then due to that you lost interest in paying the taxes, they said they have an avenue where you can report such cases. So just do or report them, because when you're taking money, it's hard to make money, and if you are taking it, you have to be nice, otherwise we will not pay. Okay. Right, Daddy, is there anything I didn't mention on that you would like to talk about?
The only thing that I would say here is South American. Yes. On my Ghana. One of Ghana, a menu, and a Ghana. Ghana, ye fa, a menu, yama Ghana, I fe. You can't ya butchery, a butcher, Ubina ya butcher, and my butcher, ye fa in a ye passy Johnny, a corner. Yes, which mamma Ghana has so I had de. Inti, a queen be a namsua ye jumano. Ejumi bia ye no obia omfa na nevidie na hoden ne nyansa ne susum emfa hyem no onye ade na ye a eye menu ankasa na ibedi ye a menu ankasa na ibetwa de edi na obi na ebi kampo ya de ama obi so o abonten.
Right.
That's my
Thank you so much. So we are all involved.
Yeah.
You have to come on board. They also have to come on board for us to have a very conducive environment, it is mandatory, it's actually your right to pay your taxes. So please, whenever you are called to or whenever they approach you for you to pay a specific tax, make sure you do so. Those taxes that we pay are the taxes that are being used to construct our roads, infrastructure, social amenities, boreholes, public toilets, what have you. Those are what schools as well. Those are what our taxes actually do. So please, it is your right. Do well to pay. Making money is not easy, but it is your right. I believe you want to live in a very good environment, so make sure that you pay your taxes. All right. Thank you so much, Reverend, and thank you to Mr. Ahni for joining us on the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, and thank you too for joining us right here on the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. I believe with today's segment, you've learned what revenue sensitization is all about, but in all of that, we are still learning.
Sure.
You're still learning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for giving us the voice.
All right. Thank you too. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation as well. And thank you for the education and the awareness you've created right here on the show. We are just hoping that in the coming years, in the coming months, we will see more awareness and more education on revenue collection and also revenue synthesization as well. Thank you so much. And make sure you stay safe and do have a lovely weekend.